Namaste, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us for this multi faith program. We begin with Devi Mahatmyam, a dance by Manurmukhi Ghandikota.
Tadimi takadimi tam deep tom nam tadimi tajanu tadimi ta tam deep tom nam tadimi tajanu tadimi ta tam deep tom nam tadimi tajanu tadimi ta सकल विद्या వరములియవే వరమహాలక్ష్మి అష్టరూపిణి ధన కనకదాయిని వరములియవే వరమహాలక్ష్మి అష్టరూపిణి క్షీరసాగరమున ఉద్భవించితివి క్షీరసాగరమున ఉద్భవించితివి శ్రీ మహావిష్ణుకు ప్రియురాలైతివి క్షీరసాగరమున ఉద్భవించితివి శ్రీ మహావిష్ణుకు ప్రియురాలైతివి వరములియవే వరమహాలక్ష్మి అష్టరూపిణి ధన కనకదాయిని క్షీరసాగరమున ఉద్భవించితివి శ్రీ మహావిష్ణుకు ప్రియురాలైతివి మహాలక్ష్మి శ్రీ మహావిష్ణుకు మహాలక్ష్మి ధన కనకదాయిని శ్రీ మహాలక్ష్మి ఓం హ్రీం దుర్గాయై నమః 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 దేవి కరుణించి నన్ను బ్రోవవే శంకర మనోహరి దురిత నివారిణి దుష్ట సంహారిణి సింహవాహిని చాముండి సింహవాహిని చాముండి సింహవాహిని చాముండి సింహవాహిని చాముండి త్రిశక్తి రూపిణి త్రిభువన పాలిని త్రిశూలధారిణి భైరవి కాళరాత్రి కరాళ రూపిణి చండ ముండాది దుష్ట సంహారిణి శ్రీచక్రరాజ రాజేశ్వరి పాహి మాం భువన సుందరి పాహి మాం పాహి మాం పాహి మాం పాహి మాం జయ జయ దుర్గే జయ దుర్గే 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 జయ దుర్గే జయ దుర్గే జయ దుర్గే జయ దుర్గే జయ జయ దుర్గే జయ దుర్గే జయ జయ దుర్గే జయ దుర్గే
Thank you very much, Madhurmukhi Kandikota, for coming and giving us this very nice dance performance for Devi Mahatmya. And this is the week of Devi Navaratri, and then Vijayadashmi is coming for Dasara. So now we will begin with Sarvadharma prayers by the Sri Satyasai Baba Center's, the children of the East Brunswick Sai Center. Thank you very much. Please start. Yes, it's a PowerPoint. Yes, while we're waiting, so please thank you very much for joining us on this Sarvadharma multi-faith program that we're having annually. And this time we have a number of interesting speakers, and hopefully they will all join us. And we will first begin with the Sarvadharma prayers by the children of the Sri Satyasai Baba Center of East Brunswick. Now, while this is happening, we'll start pretty soon with the slides of the Sarvadharma prayers from different faiths. Thank you.
तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्
अशेमवहु बहिष्टेमस्ति पुष्टास्ति पुष्टामाय यदशाय वहिष्ठाय शेम श्मा इस्राएल Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Buddham Sharanam Gacchami Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami Sangham Sharanam Gacchami. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. La ilaha illallah, Allah, Allah. La ilaha illallah, Allah, Allah. La ilaha illallah, Allah, Allah. Om Sai Ishwaraya Vidmahe सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात् ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात् ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
Namaste, everyone. Thank you once again for joining us for this multi faith meeting. Our first speaker is Brother Sucha Singh from the Pittsburgh Gurudwara. Please join and speak. Thank you. Can you hear me? Yes, thank you. We see your video. Audio? Please unmute.
There you go. Hello. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you. Please go ahead.
All right, sir. So first of all, thank you for letting me be part of this gathering and talking on the peace. I will start with our one of the scriptures written by our fifth spiritual master Guru Arjan Dev Ji in Guru Granth Sahib, or Holy Book of Sikhism. So that he says, "Sarv bhoot aap vartara, sarv nayan aap pekhan hara, sagal smagri jaka tana, ਆਪਨ ਜਸ ਆਪ ਹੀ ਸੁਣਾ ਆਵਣ ਜਾਣ ਇੱਕ ਖੇਲ ਬਣਾਇਆ ਆਗਿਆਕਾਰੀ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਮਾਇਆ ਸਭ ਕੈ ਮਦ ਅਲਿਪਤੋ ਰਹੈ ਜੋ ਕਿਛ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਸੋ ਆਪੇ ਕਹੈ ਆਗਿਆ ਆਵੈ ਆਗਿਆ ਜਾਏ ਨਾਨਕ ਜਾਂ ਭਾਵੈ ਤਾਂ ਲਏ ਸਮਾਏ." So now the meaning of that is that in all forms God himself is providing. Through all eyes, he himself is watching. All the creation is his body. He himself listens to his own praise. The one has created the drama of coming and going. He made Maya, the mammon, sub-servant to his will. In the midst of all, he remains unattached. So, God himself lives within all of us. So by that, we have a relation of brothers and sisters with all the human race. So the Sikh gurus, the spiritual masters, preached practical religion, making social activism as an essential part of religion. The Sikh ideology, of which our holy book Guru Granth Sahib invite all good people of all beliefs to do something about world peace and to work together for a tolerant and just world order. So in Sikhism, involvement is in community. The involvement in community life is necessary for the creation of a just and peaceful society. It is not for opting out of family and community life. Every person needs to work for peace, especially those who are in positions of power and authority. The Sikh belief in service to others is a crucial component of religion. The Sikh faith acknowledges that all beings are one and that living in harmony with each other is a crucial piece of living in peace. Then how should we treat others? All individuals, regardless of gender, race, disability, class, or wealth, should be treated with respect and dignity. So in order to live in peace and harmony, now we should abandon negative emotions and cultivate positive emotions such as loving, kindness, and compassion. As with all religions, avoidance of violence is a central concept. So I'll repeat that line again. As with all religions, avoidance of violence is a central concept. Then why the most conflicts arose in the world we witness are based on religion? The answer is very simple. So there is a gap in the real theory and practices. So people have been using religion as a weapon, and the common people do not have the deep knowledge of religion. It is our collective duty of all the religious leaders to provide the common message with the message of equality, tolerance, and harmony, peace. Now, the using of power and arms should be the last resort. When all the means are failed, then yes, we can justify using the power. So, and the arms can only be used in self-defense or in defending a weaker person from an aggressor. So now if we practice those things, what in this world today, what we are witnessing, since a long time, since the humanity has to be. So unfortunately, so we have been fighting with the name of religion. So we should understand that if we are all one, if we are all sisters and brothers, and our source is one Almighty, one God, then there should not be conflict. So rather than using power, rather than using weapon, or rather than destroying others, we should have we should find a way that we can rectify the things in this world with love, with compassion, with peace also. So that kind of message I wanted to share with you, and I would say thank you so much again for letting me the part of all this conference. Thank you very much. Thank you. That's it.
Please give another round of applause to Dr. Sucha Singh. Thank you very much for joining us at short notice.
Thank you.
And it takes a lot of dedication to immediately respond to a call for a multi-faith meeting. And I'm very happy that you came to talk to us. And we hope to have you here again on our next one. We have these on an annual basis, and we'd be very happy to have you join us.
My pleasure, sir.
Thank you very much. So our next speaker is Dr. Remy Aleppo. Please go ahead.
Namaste, everyone. Peace and blessings to you, brothers and sisters. It's good to be here today. I'm going to be sharing a message on love, fellowship, and service. And I'm going to be, portraying or sharing with you today, text or information from the Christian faith, and also sharing parallel information in the Yoruba traditional religion. So when we're looking at the concept or the topic of love, fellowship, and service, we can say that the greatest example and teacher of servanthood was, of course, from the Christian faith, Jesus Christ. Paul often said to him that he took the very nature of a servant. And this can be found in Philippians 2, verse 7. And also, Jesus thought to himself, as the son of God, but also looking at, the son of, thinking of himself as, the son of man who serves other people's needs, who loves his neighbor as himself, who encourage people to live a life of servicehood or servanthood. We can see this by his exemplary actions in several chapters of the Christian Bible. It was recorded in John 13, 1 to 17, that, the best notable example of servanthood was found in him washing his disciples' feet. Even though he was their master, their teacher, their leader, he bowed down to them as people around him and he washed their feet. He didn't think of himself as greater than anyone else, but everyone was living on the same parallel or level as he was. Jesus knew that the Father had put all things under his power and that he had come from God and was returning to God. So he got up from the meal during the Last Supper and took out his outer clothing and then poured water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet. Now, many of us are in environments where we often think of, thinking of others as beneath or below us. But when we look at the example of Jesus Christ, for him to be a master, a teacher, someone that people looked up to in so many communities at his time, he actually did something unusual, which means, as a leader, people look up to you, they serve you all the time, but he provided this service, washing the disciples' feet, teaching them about true greatness in the kingdom of God, and also not thinking of the position of authority that he occupied. If we were to master in today's concept of the scriptural principles of true biblical fellowship, we are not doing a great job. As a matter of fact, with all the wars and all the conflict going on around the world, we have not lived up to the teachings of Jesus Christ, or even to any master, any great master that existed at any time, who taught us to love our neighbors as ourselves and always treat others as equal as we are. Now, I'm going to now go into the Yoruba traditional religion. Now, when we look at the example of servicehood and servanthood and teaching others, being there for others, not thinking that we're greater because there's a God that is greater than everyone. So, in the Yoruba tradition as well, the greatest principle of how we engage with each other is character, and that character is called Iwa. And this is one of, or perhaps the most important human endeavor taught within Ifa. And Ifa is like it's like saying, the Bible, the teachings of Yoruba traditions. The first thing you get taught is character, which means if you don't have a good behavior, if you don't have a good character, if you don't respect others, if you think that you're above others all the time, if you don't have a good destiny, like where is your head leading you? So we say that, your head is the destiny. Your head leads you to a destination. You have to have a purpose. If you don't have a purpose in life, then you cannot have good moral character or a good behavior. And of course, God, which is called Olojumare in Yoruba language, make sure and ensures that before he places everyone on the surface of the earth, that we actually have good heads, good character, good moral behavior, a destination, things that we're going to be doing, respect for each other, looking at others through the principles of brotherly love, sisterly love, and not looking down on anyone. So when we look down on other people, we already know that we don't have good character. We've already judged them. But in Yoruba tradition, there's this concept of omoluabi, which means when you have good character, good behavior, that means you should be, setting examples for those within your community, and you're called omoluabi, which means the person that, has good behavior, good aspects of life living within them that they can show and share with other people. So the first thing, if you want to be an omoluabi, is to have iteriba, which means respect. If you don't have respect, then you cannot engage other people as brothers and sisters. You cannot love other people. You can't even serve them. You'll be thinking that, if you cannot bow down just as Jesus bowed down and washed the feet of his disciples, that means you already place yourself in the position of God Almighty. So the first thing, besides the character or good moral behavior, and when you become, an omoluabi that has iteriba, is to have that respect. And when you respect others, what do you think happens? Other people also respect you because they feel that, okay, regardless of your age, your social status, political status, the amount of money you have, everybody is on the same page. You can talk to each other clearly to, gather understanding so that you can live together in a peaceful world. But when there's no respect, when you cannot, bow down to listen to other people and hear what they're saying, then of course you already, started the conflict even before knowing your neighbors. The second thing that you must do when you have this good moral behavior is inurere, which means good intentions towards others. You must always live without preconceived ideas, without preconceived notions. When you meet other people who are different from you come clean and plain. That's why I like these interfaith or multi-faith forums where everyone is from diverse religious backgrounds, diverse, all types of economic, upbringing or social status or beliefs, but we come together as one family under God. Everyone believes in something different, but the the first thing is good moral character, which we are showing as examples to others out there watching this today, or even those participating in this forum. And then we have to listen. We have the iteriba, which is we have the respect for each other's faith, for each other's tradition, because we want to know how to talk to each other. We want to know how to share in one another's lives, in one another's tradition, so that we can continue to work together respectfully. Then we have good intentions. Everyone here works towards faith, peace building, harmony, interreligious dialogue, love, understanding, mutual understanding, and respect for others. That means already we have exemplified some of the teachings that many of our prophets and masters have taught us. We must have good intentions in our hearts, which is inurere. The third is this character that I started with, which means for everything to work together, respect, good intentions, and good moral character. Iteriba, inuriri, and iwa. This makes the person valuable. Everyone values you when you have good character, when your intentions in your heart is pure, and when you can bow down to listen to other people and live together as one family under God. We're taught in Yoruba tradition that, only God, Eledumare, is the owner of the sky. He knows everything. He's the judge, he's the king of kings. So he doesn't, give us the opportunity to judge our fellow human beings. And when we look up to God, then he answers our prayers. When we have Inuriri, Iteriba, and Iwa, all those three things makes us, the same example of what Jesus Christ did for his disciples by washing their feet. to forgive, and also to learn to live together in God's world. So I hope that this short message has been beneficial, and I would like to end it with the Lord's Prayer, and I'm going to say it in my language, in Yoruba language. Let us pray. Bàbá wa tí ń bẹ ní ọ̀run, ká bọ̀wọ̀ fún orúkọ rẹ, kí ìjọba rẹ dé, tìrẹ ni kí a ṣe ní ayé, bí a ti ń ṣe ní ọ̀run. Má fà wá sínú àdánwò, gbà wá lọ́wọ́ bìlísì, torí ìjọba ni tìrẹ, agbára ni tìrẹ, ògo ni tìrẹ, láéláé, àmín, 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 àṣẹ and àjù. God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Dr. Remy, for joining us and giving us a wonderful presentation. And we've known and we've attended these multi-faith meetings for many years with Guru Dilipji, and I'm very happy that you're able to join us today. So, Dr. Al Levy, a good friend of mine, and he's next to talk on Judaism. Thank you, Al. Please talk.
Sai Ram, everybody. Sai Ram, Ariama. I just want to know that my voice is being heard loudly enough. If you can just affirm that, let me know. We're all here together because Swami Satya Sai Baba, as we all know him also, has urged us to love all and serve all, and to embrace every religion. And that example is demonstrated through his universal and unconditional love for all people, regardless of their race, culture, language, nationality, and certainly regardless of their religion. This body was born Jewish, but I belong to everyone. And since I was raised Jewish, I know about the Jewish traditions, and I was bar mitzvahed and go to temple on Yom Kippur, the holiest day of the year for the Jewish people. When there's a day of atonement, we fast all day, no water, no food, 24 hours to ask for the mercy of God and to repent and then ask for forgiveness. At the end of that day, which is the 10th day of Rosh Hashanah, which is the new year in Judaism, I think it's 5786 presently, we have reviewed our lives for 10 days, and that's the culmination of Yom Kippur. And that just happened. After that, there's several other holidays. The day of the harvest, Sukkot, the day of celebrating the giving of the Torah by God to the Jewish people, Simchat Torah. But the most important thing about Judaism is that everyone is urged in Judaism to worship God beyond name, beyond form. So it's purely Vedanta. It's purely Advaita. And in Judaism, unfortunately, and I've had many arguments with many rabbis over this, one cannot say one is one with God or one is God. So our affirmation, I am God, I am not different from God, I am the indivisible, supreme, absolute, Satchitananda, truth, consciousness, awareness, bliss. Grief and anxiety can never affect me, I'm ever content. Fear cannot enter me. That Swami gave us in 1984, 85. If I say that to a rabbi, they throw me out of the temple, basically. And I have said it to some rabbis on Passover, and we had big arguments. And I said, listen, God's omnipresent, omniscient, and omnipotent, right? Oh, yes. So you agree with omnipotent? Yes. All powerful. Omniscient, all knowing. Yes. How about omnipresent? Oh, yes, God's everywhere. Okay. So show me where God isn't. Oh, well, everywhere is God, and everyone is God, right? You're God, I'm God, we're all God, right? Oh, we can't say that. So there's the humility of Judaism, and that's for transcendence of the human ego, which unfortunately the human ego, when person is not following the tenets of their religion purely, and every religion on the planet has as its fundamental core, love all, serve all, or at least love God in all beings, all the time, in every way possible. But when the tenets of a fundamental religion are not followed, people devolve into violence and demonic behavior. So Swami has urged us to love all and serve all. In Judaism, we have a very, very sacred prayer. The sacred prayer is, "Hear, O Israel," except that Israel in this sense does not mean a nation. It means children of God. Israel, the word Israel means children of God, and it's not exclusive to Jewish people. Jewish people see everyone as children of God, if they're following the fundamental tenets of the core of the religion. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. That's what this prayer means. And it goes like this. And I had the fortune of singing it on Christmas, at the Christmas play in Prashanti Nilayam for Swami directly in 1988 and 89. And here it goes. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. That prayer is for world peace, oneness with God, love, eternal, unconditional. So, unfortunately, through history, the Jewish people have been the brunt of world animosity. Anti-Semitism is rampant. It always been that way since the beginning of time, certainly in Egypt, from the time of Moses and slavery, right through to the present. And that's unfortunate because it's based in total misunderstandings. But we all have to overcome our prejudices, and that's the challenge that Swami gives us. But we have to remember that Swami loves all religions. He loves everyone. He said once, more than once actually, but I heard him once, it's good to be born in a religion, but it's not good to die in one. And when asked why, he said, because it's narrow-minded. Everyone belongs to God. We're all one family of humanity. And everyone deserves the supreme love of God and the supreme love of God in each and every person to be shared. And that's the phrase, love all, serve all. And the other part of that phrase is help ever, hurt never. Unfortunately, in all the religions, except for Jainism, maybe Buddhism too, I'm not sure of this, there is the phrase that if you're attacked, you can defend yourself. Buddhists, real Buddhists, the deep Buddhists, like the Tibetan Buddhists and the Dalai Lama, practice the way of nonviolence. So when attacked, they turn the other cheek, like Jesus said to do. And in Judaism, there's, if you're attacked, you have the right to defend yourself. In the Muslim world, the same thing applies in the Quran. And in Judaism, there's the phrase, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. And when Gandhi was asked about that, he said, that makes the whole world toothless and blind. So we urge our fellow Jewish people to be nonviolent if possible. Sometimes it's not. In World War II, it wasn't possible. That's Warsaw. 6 million people died. It's not possible now either. But there's a great misunderstanding in the Middle East, and anybody who takes sides is wrong. So it has to be understood from Swami's perspective, not from human perspective, but from Swami's perspective. In Judaism, when we're bar mitzvahed at the age of 13, we're considered eligible to be a man, or bat mitzvahed now is a modern term for the same thing for women. At that point, you can be a parent. In the old days, 12, 13, 14, 15, people were considering when to get married or married. Now in these modern times, that's like, whoa, that's like 20 years too soon. Or maybe 10 at least. So at that point, you're also considered responsible for your own life, your own support, your own family, if you have one. And but in modern times, these times, that's not the case. In Judaism, we celebrate God, but we don't worship a form of God. However, in 1980, it was Hanukkah, and myself and about 24 other Jewish people and others, Christian and Hindu and Muslim, were invited by Swami to a Hanukkah party. And before that party, Sai Baba was asked by Dr. Goldstein and myself, came really from Hilda Charlton, this request, to put the Jewish star on the symbol, because in India, there were only 500 Jewish people, primarily in Bombay, Mumbai, and a few in Bangalore, Bengaluru now. And that's it. Maybe a few in Delhi that we didn't know about, or Calcutta, we're not sure, because after 73 AD, the entire Jewish nation was destroyed by the Romans, and anybody who fled to all over the world, to any place where the Romans were not present, and that was called the diaspora. Remember, Jesus was Jewish. He was never anything but Jewish. And at the end of his life and his resurrection, just before his crucifixion, he said to Peter, "You're going to be the rock upon which I'm going to build my church." So that was the authority with which he recognized he wasn't going to be accepted by the Jewish people as the Mashiach, Messiah. And so, okay, we'll have to do it all over again. That's why Prema Sai Baba is here right now. He's about 4 or 6 years old, maybe a little older, but that's about it. And he is God incarnate. So in 1980, we had the opportunity to light the menorah for Hanukkah, which is 8 candles, and it signifies the recapturing of the temple in Jerusalem, which was destroyed by the Syrians and the Greeks. And at this time, I believe the temple was destroyed, and Apollo's statue was put in the temple instead, which is blasphemy to the Jewish people by the Greeks. And the Maccabees recaptured the temple. And upon recapturing it and chasing the Syrians and Greeks away, they discovered there was only oil enough for one day to light the lamp, and which is an eternal flame. It was on the altar of the temple in front of the Torah. And it signifies the eternal oneness of love and God's presence. And so they sent somebody out to get oil, and the oil that was there for one day's worth of oil lasted until that person came back with new oil. And of course, by horseback or camel. And it lasted 8 days. So Hanukkah celebrates the gift of grace that God gave after the Maccabees recaptured the temple that was destroyed. It's there in Jerusalem to this day. It's the Wailing Wall is one of the walls of that temple where people pray. And that's the celebration of Hanukkah. So for 8 nights, we light 8 candles, one candle for each night, increasing to the 8th night. And the one candle at the top that lights them all is God. And that signifies God. And so Swami said he would celebrate Hanukkah with the lighting of the menorah first. So he came out that day, that evening, and I had the wonderful grace of being able to sing the prayers of lighting the menorah with Swami lighting the menorah. So I handed Swami the candle that was lit for signifying God. He accepted it, and I sang this prayer. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvosav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Chanukah. And 2 others, which I don't have time to sing here, and I'll translate that one. Now, Swami's standing there right in front of me, facing me, maybe by 3 or 4 feet. And I'm singing it to him with the Torah around my, the talus of the Jewish people around my shoulders and the yarmulke on my head. And it means this: Blessed art thou, O Lord our God, King of the universe, who sanctifies and blesses us on this holy night of light known as Hanukkah. That's never happened in the history of humanity. It happened once, and that one time only, that we had that blessing. And Swami said in response, the Hebrew language is just like Sanskrit. Same. There are many words in the Hebrew language that are the same in Sanskrit, like Shiva, sitting Shiva, sitting Shiva. That's how we pronounce it in Hebrew, but it's Shiva, the destroyer. At the time of passing of one of our family or friends, we sit Shiva for that person for a week. Things like this are throughout the Hebrew language because the father of the Judaism was Abraham. Abraham, a Brahmin. And it is quite likely that from the roots of Hinduism came both Hinduism and Judaism. That the same people, one went Advaita, and the other went towards the pantheon of God in many, many forms and formless. And the Jewish people just said, well, we don't want the forms, we want formless. So they went their separate ways in that moment. But fundamentally, we came from the same roots. But remember this, everyone on the planet came from Africa. Everyone. Deep in the heart of the Ethiopian crescent area of Mesopotamia, and in the depths of the African continent came all of humanity. And when we forget that, we're in trouble. And Judaism stresses that it's a blessing, it's a mitzvot to serve, love and serve, give forth what people need to anyone on the planet. It stresses the common family of humanity. It's unfortunate that all the people of Judaism don't live that, but what all people of any religion don't live their religion. But fortunately, Prema Sai Baba is coming very soon. We hope, we pray, and deliver us to the one religion of love that transcends all boundaries, all narrow-mindedness. It's good to have a cultural affiliation. It's good to have a lingual affiliation, and it's good to have a religious affiliation, because each religion serves the people of a certain area and a certain mentality that gravitate to that religion and feel comfortable with it. And that's good. What's not good is making divisions based on that. Swami taught us that, teaches us that, and we pray, delivers us into that consciousness. Sairam, thank you all.
Can you hear me now? On? Okay. Okay. Sorry about that. Thank you very much, Al. There was a good talk by you with a number of points that you raised that I want to personally chat with you, but not to take up the time here. But hope to meet you again soon. Al Levy is an old good friend of ours, and with my parents also. And so we're very happy that he could join us at the last minute. So thank you very much, Al Levy. It was a very interesting talk that you gave. There's some things I'd like to follow up with you because you raised a lot of interesting points. I'm very grateful that you were able to join us at short notice, and I'm very happy you could be here, and hope to have you again at our next multi-faith meeting. So next is Upendra Chivukula. No, it's Guru Dilip Ji. Guru Dilip Ji, please join and talk.
Namaste everyone. It is my great pleasure and honor to join this annual interfaith gathering. The topic is Celebrate Together with Multi-Faith in Promotion of Peace. As a Secretary of the Committee of Religious NGOs at the United Nations, it's my bread and butter to work with the different faith groups and cultural groups. One thing I am noticing in my life, God gave us a beautiful life to celebrate our existence. God may be male or female, doesn't matter. The universe itself gave us a beautiful life. So many years, people are fighting by the name of God or religion, ethnicity, language, because of ignorance, lack of education in spirituality. I want to bring some points from my own life. My father from a Orthodox Christian family. They're the first Christian family in India. Mom from a Hindu family. By birth, I'm an interfaith person. But definitely we promote Sanatana Dharma as a yogi. That is necessary. We believe all the knowledge in the universe coming through great masters, and they are teaching us to learn, analyze, practice, and teach to continue the lineage. A lot of time people end up with rituals or their textbooks, but they won't go to the deeper part of the spiritual nature of human being. That's a problem. Last 2 weeks, we see the chaos between two regions. Last year we had another war. This is going on in different parts of the world. Everybody knows we are brothers and sisters, but it's very hard to practice because we have different experience from our childhood. I never learned to hate somebody because of the religion or a culture or nations. Parents gave us a good spiritual experience through their lifestyle. That's the way I'll say. So I see at the ashram, Baba always bring different faith together, nationalities together, cultural activities together, and promote education and gender equality. Spirituality and science has to be in hand. When we teach something to others, it should be logically correct. Sometimes logic cannot be understandable too. Sometimes it will make confusion between religious groups. We can understand all the religions are man-made time to time by masters for a good purpose. But spirituality already exists in the universe from the beginning of the universe. And we don't know when was the beginning. We don't know when it will be the end. This is the way it is. But we know we are alive in this body to love and care about each other. So that's why we promote interfaith gathering around the globe. Last 25 years working with the different NGOs at the UN. Now in our circle we have more than 10,000 NGOs affiliated with the UN, including Sati Sai organization. So I see the importance of this movement is much needed in this era. I see the difference from early 80s when we started in India. A lot of interfaith gatherings happened. It was very hard to promote it. Now it's very easy. People understand things. The world is changing. It's sometimes very hard to upgrade ourselves because we sit in a well, it's like a frog. So we have to develop our consciousness in a universal manner. I remember in 93 when we started the World Yoga Day movement, people used to make fun of me. When people threatened me, even my sister told me, it's very shameful for me to say you are a yoga teacher. I said, just tell people I am your peon, your servant. Now she says, oh, I'm so proud of you because International Day of Yoga happened. So it will take long way to implement anything good. So we never give up. If you look at Sai Baba's life, how many years he spent time for people. People make fun of him or insult different ways, but he never react to any of these people. He just continues work. It is successful. Now, last year, 1 year back, accredited with the UN, ECOSOC. Now we are working on the DGC. And after 1 year, we want to make a big interfaith celebration at the ashram to commemorate Baba's 100-year birthday. Yeah. So, this is the way we work together. When we want to show our love and care to our friends or family, and we are the people missing the reality of the spiritual nature of a human being. When like we mentioned about the Africa, that's true. You see, when you come to India, you see South Indians look like Africans. If you put all the continents together in a map, Kerala will be the part of the Africa. So we all made by 5 elements: earth, water, fire, ether, and air. That means the universe is made of 5 elements, and we are part of the universe, and universe is part of our life. That means we are the universe. So when you think that way, we give the respect to every single being around the world, because they are part of the universe, and we are not here for permanent. When I see the discussions at the UN between different countries, we just think, what is wrong with these people? We are just a tenant on this earth for little time. The first inhalation to the last exhalation, we are living in this body, then we have to leave. Soul has to leave from the body. So we are not putting effort to align with the spiritual nature of a human being, and we end up in material lifestyle and fight each other. And actually we are neglecting people, harassing people by the name of God or a religion. That is not correct. So we had to bring everyone together as a globe universal family, Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam. Now India government is promoting that very well. We had a wonderful event at the UN last month, and this is needed for the future. We had to make sure human rights should be equally distributed around the globe. Everybody have a right to live peacefully on this earth until the last exhalation. So we work together. We will continue to work together in different parts of the world. I am so happy. Hey, Arimaji is inviting me to be part of this so many years. Happy to serve in future years. Wonderful to see you, so many friends, Levi and Remy, and I saw Chivukulaji from New Jersey, and our friend Singh from another state. We'll continue gathering again. Yoga Samasta Sunava. Thank you. Om Shanti. Namaste.
Thank you very much, Guru Dilipji. It's a pleasure to have you here again, as we've met repeatedly. And I hope to see you again in one of your many conferences that you keep holding at the UN, involving a lot of countries and representatives, because it is a lot of work to try to get all the voices together, attend and speak and work together, because there's a lot of talk at the UN, but
we need a lot of patience.
Solid action. So, I mean, my father was there right from the beginning. He joined in 1950, and at that time there was no UN building. It was Lake Success. It was in Lake Success, and then so he worked with a number of delegations, drafting memos, because he was strongly anti-colonial, and these countries were just gaining independence. African countries, Asian countries, India itself. So it was a very a challenging time at that time, but there was a lot of hope that the UN would come and work together. Now we still have that hope.
Still hoping again and again.
Yes, hope. But of course, the vested interests, the big countries, the permanent members, so to speak, have taken over. But the thing is, and unless we work hard, we need to express the voice of the people of the countries that are impoverished, that are suffering war, and all the backlash of economic colonialism that is still rampant throughout the world. So we have our little voice, but we have to keep saying it. So, and if yes, she's next after Upendra. Okay. So so basically, thank you very much. And the next speaker is Chivukula Upendra.
Thank you, Ariyama, Sai Ram, and pranams to Bhagwan. And it is indeed a very interesting topic that we do that every year, trying to bring the people together and talk about their religions, their perspectives about how we can build empathy, basically understanding each other and each religion, different backgrounds. I grew up in Chennai, at that time it was called Madras, where I was born into a Hindu Brahmin family, and I was raised like that. And I had a lot of friends who were Muslims, and I had a lot of friends who were Christians, and uh, so I did not see the difference, and I was trying to follow my own religion, what I was taught at home. And over the period of time, I had migrated to Mumbai, where I met a lot of Anglo-Indians and a lot of people. I had befriended many of them. And I came to United States 1974, and I became I worked in the not university setting. I met a lot of international students at City University of New York, and when you look at met people from Africa, different parts of Africa, Asia, and Europe, and but we were all there for one purpose, to study, and we try to we were getting along fine. And then I stumbled into work after working for the industry. I stumbled into politics, and politics is an interesting journey, from an engineer to become a politics, and then trying to interact with people much more personal level, and I was able to do that. I had one example. One time, Congressman Frank Pallone was surprised, saying that, Upendra, I did not know you are a Hindu. I said, Congressman, why did you say that? He said, I saw you in the churches. I said, well, I'm a politician. I have to go to different places, and houses of worship is where you get to meet a lot of people. And I have been to several churches, several mosques in my lifetime. And of course, I was instrumental in helping people build their uh, house of worship, whether Jains and Jain Center in Franklin Township, Buddhist temple, Sri Lankan Buddhist temple in also in Franklin Township, and there were several Swaminarayan temples and Durga temple, you name it. And all along, I never felt that they were any different than I was. And of course, the dietary restrictions and all that, I was raised a vegetarian, so I had to keep to my diet, a vegetarian diet. But in terms of religion, and you try to read Bhagavad Gita, you try to read Bible and Quran, and when you look at it, they're not much different. It is the people, and this is the organized religions that make a big difference in terms of promoting empathy, love, or hatred, whatever it is. That they have the ability, they have the people, captive audience, and they can really promote a lot of things. Also, I had participated with many interfaith functions, and we had one Reverend Moses Williams, and African minister, and he used to take me to United Nations, and we were looking at homeless people, trying to help out soup kitchens, and trying to bring that what is necessary, I think, for the elevation of the human being, creating dignity of life, and trying to create pride in who they are and what they do. And so it is, religion plays a significant role in these aspects. But what if everybody is focused on their only religion, not understanding what other people are thinking, what other people's religion are, what religions are saying? Once you understand that, you can build empathy. And I think in the particular situation, this time of the year, where we have global conflicts, no matter where you look around, whether it's Europe, Asia, everywhere, there's potential conflicts, or conflicts are already going on. And what the people who suffer the most are the innocent people and children. I think we have to pay attention in the great detail, the suffering of children. I mean, children don't have tremendous opinions, and they are not a part of this conflict, but they are the as they call, collateral damage. And we need to educate the people and let them know that all we are looking for is the economic benefits, and striving and succeeding in life, and creating that hope and dignity. I think that's going to make a place different. Of course, there are people who are going to exploit religion for their own benefit and create many conflicts. And we have to educate the people at all levels, and talk about same forums like this, interfaith, talking about, learning about each other's religions, each other's practices, so that way we have a better understanding before we criticize somebody. Before we say something negative, we have a better understanding of what we are saying. And I think Bhagavan, Satya Sai Baba, has always brought all the religions together, and Sarva Dharma Seva Center has been a tremendous job, and year after year trying to promote uh, commonality and equality among all the religions. And I think we have to, as Ariyama said, all we can do is keep on trying, because there are going to be naysayers, people who are going to be creating problems. And we should be ambassadors of troubleshooting. We should solve the problems, and through education and to our intellectual contributions, and practical on the ground, having the boots on the ground, and trying to help out uh, humanitarian crisis, no matter where they are. I think that's what is going to help us. And once again, I want to thank Ariyama and Sarvadharma Seva Center for this opportunity. Sai Ram, pranams to Bhagavan.
Thank you very much, Upendra, for that excellent talk. Upendra is a good friend of mine. We used to work together some 30 odd years ago. And then he's progressed. He became the mayor of Franklin Township, and then became, a state assemblyman for many years. And he was also chairman of the Power
Commissioner on the Board of Public
Commissioner.
Utilities.
He was a commissioner, New Jersey commissioner, for 5 or 7 years, I believe.
8, yeah.
And he's worked hard throughout his life on for the Hindu dharmic causes, and has been a very good friend. And so I thank him for all his the points that he raised. As far as working with the churches, it is very essential that we, as people who live in the United States, not remain insular, but try to reach out to our local communities of all different faiths and from different countries, and try to work with people and bring them together. That's a very essential service that we can do. If there's any service that we can do, is to keep in touch with everyone.
Arima, one more thing. I also organized in the General Assembly Hall the Baisakhi celebration, and I was able to bring people from different gurdwaras, and it was a successful event. Even the Speaker of the House wore the turban, and they actually turban ceremony that was taken place. The governor was there, and I think that is what it is, and promoting understanding. I think that's very important.
Yes, unity and understanding among people is very essential. I'll just bring a quote from Sri Sathya Sai Baba. If there's righteousness in the heart, there will be beauty in the character. If there is beauty in the character, there will be harmony in the home. When there's harmony in the home, there will be order in the nation. When there's order in the nation, there will be peace in the world. So everything begins with you. So whatever effort you can do to maintain your home and build your character and always remain pure and help ever, hurt never, love all, serve all. This is what Swami has said, and that's a critical message to all. So thank you very much again, Upendra. Now, Miss Deepali, please talk. She's from the Swastika Declaration Committee, and she's here to talk about that. Thank you very much. Please talk.
Namaste, everyone. This is Deepali Irkal. I'm part of Kohana. It's a foundation or organization for Swastika Awareness Coalition. So I want to talk about Swastika, and with Diwali coming around, Diwali is an Indian festival. It is not complete, and I would like to share my screen, if that is okay.
Sure. Please go ahead.
Let me see if I can share my screen. No, I'm disabled to share. Can I be allowed to share?
Yes, he'll give you host access.
Okay, all right. So just want to let you all know that Hindus, Buddhists, Jain, for all of us, it's a very sacred symbol, but and all on Asia as well. And if we see historically, it is being practiced by its usage is over all the indigenous practiced by indigenous cultures worldwide. So I wanted to share my screen as to what when it got misappropriated. Thank you for giving me permission. Do you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes. So early 20th, way before early 20th century, swastika was used very sacredly. It was also called as grammadian or felt-fought, different words for the same symbol, which purely meant symbol of luck in Western world. And it was used in sports team, as you can see, and Coca-Cola medals it was used. And just like how swastika is sacred in India, Wan in China is famous, and Manji is what is called in Japan. And so something happened during World War II, right? All of a sudden in media, especially New York Times, they started using the word Hakenkreuz. Before March 1993, the symbol was recognized as Hakenkreuz, but all of a sudden, from March 19th, 1933, New York Times started using the word swastika instead of Hakenkreuz. And since then, it's all through the media, newspaper, everywhere, that hate symbol was being said as swastika. And so not only that, even Native Americans in US were forced to abandon. They were forced to sign a declaration with US government that they will give up using swastika on their artwork, weaving, and ceramics. It is only during 2007 efforts were made with Hindu-Jewish relationship, and in October 2022 we formed. There was an event by Swastika Awareness Coalition where we have Buddhist organization, we have Native American organization who we have partnered to promote and spread the understanding. And this proclamation clearly says that how we understand what happened with Jewish, and how we sympathize with them, but the usage of correct terminology for a hate symbol has to be a Hakenkreuz and not swastika. So yeah, so lot of efforts, and this is not a small effort. It's a huge, it's a movement. It needs a lot of individuals to come together to learn about it. I'm learning every day. I'm learning how swastika, chanting swastika mantra, chanting swastika is so much spiritually, it is uplifting. It helps with meditation. It helps to ward off evil energies, its usage. So it is very, very sacred, and it is a symbol of peace, and it is far away from the hate symbol. So I request all the members here to join me in spreading this awareness as much as possible. And I thank Aryamaji to give me an opportunity to speak about it. Thank you.
It's at short notice, we're able to bring a speaker here, and I'm very glad that you were able to make it. Thank you very much, and we will then discuss this, amongst ourselves, and we'll see what we can do. So thank you once again. Thank you very much. So next is Next speaker is Pastor Steve. Please come and join us.
Okay, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. We have a long working relationship with the, I guess we don't call it a temple here. We call it a service center, which is very admirable. And I ran Tent City in Lakewood for 8 years, and many of the people here, Mahesh and others, came down to Tent City on a regular basis to see what they could do to help out the people of that community. There was generators that were bought, much food was brought down to the people. And again, there's no homeless shelter in Ocean County whatsoever, except for a code blue in the wintertime. But any days where the temperature is above 35 degrees, there's no place for the homeless people to go. We just had a fellow come into the homeless camp in Toms River. He went out to visit a friend where he thought he could stay in Pennsylvania, out in East Reading. And finances got tough and the situation fell apart, and his friend asked him to leave. the house. So he was abandoned out there in Pennsylvania with nowhere to go, with no money. So he looked at the road and he said, I've got to get back to Ocean County. He was born in Ocean County, raised in Ocean County, went to school in Ocean County. And he said, I've got to get back to Ocean County because that's the area that I know. He got out on the road with no money. He walked 100 miles from East Reading, Pennsylvania, all the way back to Ocean County. And so this is the story of just one person. But of course, there was 120 people in Tent City in Lakewood at its peak. And right now we have about 35 homeless in Toms River in a community there. They get along, they share, and they are relatively, happy people. It just goes to show that it's not always money that makes people happy. So it's community, it's relating to one another, it's getting along, it's sharing, it's all those positive aspects of life that truly make people happy. Sometimes, as we know, money can create more problems than they solve. So again, we continue to advocate in Ocean County for a good shelter, a one-stop location where people can go if they find themselves homeless, and in that location they can get have a place to sleep that night, and then from there they can be directed towards services that might better their life, job placement, or something along the line that is going to help them. So our working relationship here at this point, we're coming every week on Saturday, picking up sandwiches, depending on what time of year it is. We have different amounts of sandwiches and bags of goodies, water, and that we pick up. And I bring it back to the town square in Lakewood. I do a program there in Lakewood 3 times a week. I pack a trailer full of clothes, food, and shoes and bedding and different kind of items, and I bring it back to the poor in Lakewood. I do it Monday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. On the weekdays, there's about 100 people that come out to the program. On Saturdays, it's about 200 people. So we're serving about 400 people every week in the Lakewood Town Square there in Lakewood. And a lot of them are homeless. Very few of those 400 have an automobile to access, going back and forth. So they carry. They'll rummage through the clothes that are put out on the tables, and they'll carry these heavy bags of clothes back to their homes, or they'll have a little cart that they'll use. So there's a great need in Lakewood. There's a lot of new people coming into Lakewood that are coming into town with nothing, and they are in need of basic necessities, like especially blankets, warm clothing, coats, socks, and things like that. Otherwise, they would be suffering. So there's really not a lot of access to those type of items in Lakewood right now after the pandemic. We had 4 soup kitchens operating on a weekly or a bi-monthly basis in Lakewood before the pandemic. After the pandemic, there is not a single soup kitchen open in Lakewood anymore. They have all closed down and not reopened. So there's, again, some organizations are coming out to the square outside every so often to serve food, and you'll see a line of people lined up looking for some food. And so we're doing our best to try to meet that need, because there is a large need. You'll go to a place called the Muster Zone in Lakewood. And the Muster Zone is a place where the day laborers gather for work. And there, on an average work day, you'll see at least 100 men looking for somebody to pick them up for work. The sad part is, come the wintertime, the landscapers aren't working, and most of these men are standing out there in the cold weather, hoping that somebody's going to pick them up for work. And typically, I would guess that maybe 5 to 10% get picked up, maybe, during the wintertime. So you have a lot of people, in a desperate situation in Lakewood. So it's a beautiful chance for us to show that love of our faith, or our faith worked out in a tangible way in loving others. Of course, the Apostle John says, God is love. He that knoweth not love knoweth not God, for God is love. So our way of relating to the world, our faith, the Christian faith, is really the tangible way of showing love. God is love. And so there's a lot of opportunity out there, especially in our world today. We've got a lot of conflict going on, which is kind of unnerving in a lot of ways. These conflicts that are going about, as you know, the scriptures state that there will be a time of unrest at the end. So again, we're concerned about what is going on, especially in the Middle East at this time. But again, I'd like to express my appreciation and gratitude for this particular place, for the things that have been given and done over the years for the poor people of Lakewood and Ocean County, in giving of tangible items that will help people in a real and positive way on a daily basis, because there is a big need out there, and people do recognize the kindness and the generosity of others when they give. They feel that love in their heart, for sure. I see it all the time with the homeless in the different camps that I deal with, and they're extremely happy because they know there's not another option in Ocean County but for somebody to help them out with a tent and a heater in the wintertime and food on a regular basis. Those are things that show our love and consideration for other human beings. Okay, thank you very much.
Give him a big hand. He's an exemplar of service and love. As Swami says, love all, serve all. Thank you very much, Pastor Steve. That was very moving. I happened to come down to that tent city a couple of times under SDSC service. So thank you. So I'm very happy that everyone is here, and all the speakers also stayed on through. And I'm very glad that that you all came, and we had a good talks by all. Please come. This is Dr. Rao, lot of service for Sarvadharma Service Center.
Saram, I'm here just to add a little bit to what we all have discussed. It's out of love for God that we're all here. We always hear God, God, and God. I haven't heard Goddess. These 10 days happen to be the days of Goddess for the Hindus. This is the Navratri, 9 nights of Goddess's greatness. her achievement in settling disputes and establishing long-lasting, everlasting peace. So I just wanted to bring that up, and today is the 7th day, and on Tuesday, I think it is the 10th day of Dasara that is celebrated. The concept of goddess or a female or a feminine divinity is not something new, not only just to Hinduism, but it's also very well known, but not so much given publicity, so to speak, in the Roman and in Chinese and Japanese, as also in the Buddhists. So you can see a lot of feminine divinity forms in all of these religions, in all of these areas of the world. So let's not underestimate that. And in fact, we all know that the feminine nature of human being is also extremely powerful. I just wanted to bring that up, and they're extremely powerful in establishing peace. That's the most important point that I wanted to mention. Thank you. Sairam.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hanumantrao. It's very nice to remember Devi Navaratri, the nine days that we're having festival now, and then followed by Dasara, the 10th day. So Devi, is an equal. So there's Shiva and Shakti. So there's Yin and Yang. So these are all two sides of the same coin. There's only one God. So thank you very much. So please, next is Sai. He's the president of Sarvadharma Service Center. Please give us a few words.
Sairam. This is one of the most popular events we have at the center throughout the years. And it has to go with the name of our center also. We are called Sarvadharma Service Center. And for those of you who don't have the Sanskrit relationship, Sarva means the closest is probably all-encompassing, We call all-encompassing, we call multi-faith service center. So for that service center to have a multi-faith event is a very natural thing. And Brother Aryamagaru has been very diligently conducting this program for so many years now. And even before the pandemic, when people used to physically be here, we were having a great deal of longer programs with music and so on. And I hope now that we will continue to do that going forward as well. I think we just saw, Pastor Steve give a wonderful talk. It kind of works with the center, because when Dr. Rao and Mahesh and many other people who were in the formative years of the center went to Swami, he said no temple, he wanted a service center. And Swami always emphasized service as form of the highest form of devotion. And within that, doing service to what he called Daridra Narayans was considered to be the highest form of it. So even in Puttaparthi, Swami used to insist, and you could see the joy in him when people used to do what's called Gram Seva, which means going to the villages and helping the most destitute. And Pastor Steve is no different. He is a personification of what Swami has been preaching. So I think it's a wonderful example for us as to how he has been working with Sarvadharma for so many years now, and we have been helping him and the other centers as well. We are also doing a medical program in Lakewood, which our doctors go there and take care of the people who don't have the facilities. We also are supporting few families who cannot afford, whose choice is either food or rent or medicine. For people like that, we have been serving to the best effort we can. And we can see that this is a growing demand for this in the future as well. And we would like everyone to participate in this program with Sarvadharma, who is either they are physically possible, they can come by to the center and help us with that, or other ways. There are other ways to do it without even being physically here. So that is the goal of Sarvadharma, and with the multi-faith event which we have here, kind of highlights how all the religions come back to the same goal, which is human aspect of it. The love for human being, the prema, what Swami calls, is what it is. So with that, I would like to thank Brother Aryama for conducting this program. And if there's anybody who has any questions, please feel free to ask at this point. Sairam.
Yes, even if those who are online through Zoom, if you have any questions, please let us know. Is there someone who would like to speak? Anyone who's here? Come up. Yes, come to the podium and then they can see you. This is Ramesh, my younger brother. We're 5 brothers and he's the second. The eldest, he's the young, he's number 2.
Sairam, everyone. Thank you for giving me a minute or two, and I promise it'll only be a minute or two. I just wanted to express my gratitude to the Sarvadharma Service Center for organizing a function on an annual basis that doesn't really ask who you are, what you are, or where you're from, as long as you can give one message to people, which is love. It's a commodity that's in very short supply nowadays when you look at the headlines. But one hopes, as Swami has always told us, that we can all repair ourselves, each and every one. So I'd like to thank you all. I'd like to thank my brother Aryama, and of course, Hanumantrao Garu and the gentleman at the back who have set up the whole thing.
Mahesh Bhai.
Mahesh Velanki Garu and others who have set up, and of course, Mr. Barade Garu, who have all made it possible for us, who have literally conducted a well-oiled machine to help and spread this message of love all, serve all. And I close with the hope that in the future we can attract more speakers from different walks of life to give their experiences. And because unless we know what many other people do, we tend to live in silos, and you can't love people who are in another silo unless you know who they are. So thank you. Please continue. I'll do my very little that I do already. I'll try to do more to help promote this annual event so that it reaches a point where it's standing room only. Sairam. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ramesh. So thank you all for joining us and participating in this very successful multi-faith program that we had today. It was interesting to hear the different points of view, and we can hope to continue this and invite more and more people. There were other folks who were invited, but unfortunately couldn't make it. So now we'll have our closing prayers, Arati. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Stalokaha
Sukhino bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Jai.
Shri Sai Maharaj ki
Jai.
Sai Mata ki
Jai.
Jai.
Thank you all for joining. May God bless all. Sai Ram.